Alright, today we got Herencia Cubana core. We have it in, it's nice and box pressed. I believe the whole line is. And we have it in Toro, 6.5 by 52. It's around $2.20 a box, MSRP. Sorry ahead of time, today's 4th of July for the, you're gonna hear fireworks and dogs barking. So heads up. And they decided to start early this year, but what can I do? So it's around 11 bucks a stick. Comes in a box of 20. It's full bodied. It has Habano Ecuador sun-grown ligero wrapper. Binders Estelí Habano Viso. A filler is Estelí ligero, Jamastran ligero. Pennsylvania broadleaf, that's very interesting. Nicaraguan Ometepe ligero. And they say it has earth, leather, cream, and pepper. So we'll see about that. I have this was given to me by a friend of mine who swears by it. So we'll see what he was talking about now. I'm gonna take advantage that there's no wind and try to use some matches. And see, get it nice and slow. So normally I'd wait, you know, just because the conditions aren't great right now with the fireworks and the. But I have so many cigars. If I don't do one daily, it's gonna be, or at least 5 times a week, I'm gonna fall behind because I have dozens and dozens. I mean, see if one of these days I do a video where you guys can see my humidor, and then maybe you guys can pick something out from there. Yeah, no, it's too windy. That's a really nice dark wrapper, so they went with a lot of ligero. Ligero is basically what's grown at the top. It's basically the leaves at the top of the plant. And basically they use it when they want to add some body to the cigar. Usually put it in the filler, but it's supposed to burn nice and strong and slow. And they use a ton of it here, so we'll see. I'm really interested about the Pennsylvania broadleaf. It's kind of a rare plant, rare leaf. It used to be more popular, but not so much these days. Ton of smoke right off the bat. There's not much light right now, but I'll show you guys the band. Real nice band. Yeah, it's not gonna look great, but basically has a rearing line on it. La Herencia Cubana. Real nice tight box press. Real nice and dark wrapper. Very flush, very smooth. Really, really nice cigar. I've had this for like 2 years. Wow, really good start. No harshness. They're saying leather. I agree. I taste that leather right there. Get it right off the bat. A really nice leather. I'm not tasting the pepper, which I like. I'm getting the leather. I'm getting the earth. The leather is definitely the strongest flavor right now. Real nice start. It wasn't harsh at all. Pretty medium draw. I'm not getting a ton, but it's not tight by any means. Getting a decent amount. Hopefully it'll open up. There's a burn line. Good amount of smoke. It's a pretty big stick. 6.5, 50 by 52. $11 each, so they're a bit up there in price. So far, so good. I gotta admit, I'm pretty partial to box press. I really like box press cigars. So they advertise it as full body with all the ligero and the Pennsylvania broadleaf. You know, it should be full body. Ton of leather. Wow. That's definitely the strongest flavor. Just leather. Really nice leather. Some earth at the core of it. It's there. But the leather's definitely on top. I'm not getting any of the pepper, which I like. Maybe a tiny bit in the back. Tiny little bit of a hint of pepper. The tiniest bit of pepper. You're definitely getting a ton of leather. That's the number one most obvious flavor, most obvious note. So prior to this, a little tip is there's lots of ways to refresh your palate. And a lot of guys will tell you, you learn a lot of stuff here in Miami. You walk into a lounge and you learn a ton. And there's always something new to learn, especially in cigars. But a friend of mine taught me a trick of some dark chocolate. Because there's other ways to cleanse your palate. Usually you just have, you could smell coffee beans, but that's mostly for if you have cologne or something. Or ice water is always good. And if you couple it with dark chocolate, but not one that's full of sugar, so more like the more natural, the higher the percentage of cocoa, the better, of cacao, the better. Less sugar, less milk, so more dark chocolate, less milk chocolate. And it's nasty, it tastes disgusting. At least personally, it's extremely bitter. But just get a square of it if you chew on it. You don't even have to swallow it, just chew on it, get it all over, spit it out if you want. Then rinse with some ice water and you're good. You basically do that when we're at the lounge. We smoke 3 to 5 cigars. We spend hours there. And if you want to try something new, I'll definitely try that out. Dark chocolate. Because if you use something with sugar, some sugar might stay, and then you might think that the cigar you're smoking has some sweetness that's not really from the cigar. That's why the dark chocolate is best. Still getting a ton of leather. Leather earth. It's burning nice. I've had it around 68 for about high 60s, or I'd say on average 68 humidity for about a year or two. So far, so good. You see, sometimes when something is advertised as full body, it doesn't mean if you're a new smoker to stay away from it. Generally, I guess, yes, but it's not a rule. There's few rules when it comes to cigar smoking. At the end of the day, whatever anybody tells you, unless it has something to do with the process or whatever, if it's not technical, it's all opinion, it's all subjective. Like, nobody can tell you this is the best cigar in the world. Nobody can tell you that. That's a fact. That's just an opinion. So, but usually when people are starting off, or it's not a simple thing. Even if you smoked for a very long time, it's not that easy to recommend something for a new smoker, because you get that question a lot. What should I smoke if I've never smoked before, if I'm just getting into it? And you don't necessarily, because the answer you always get is Connecticut. Smoke this Connecticut, get a cheap Connecticut and smoke this. I think that's the wrong approach. That shouldn't always be the case. Actually, I think it's bad, because if you do that, a lot of Connecticut's, they'll have some sour or bitter notes. maybe some like some have pepper, some have like this lemony bitterness. Some of them, a lot of people, especially here in Miami, Connecticut's are not very popular, and they'll tell you it just tastes like burnt paper to them. And I can see where they're coming from. I mean, I like the whole spectrum, but I usually don't recommend Connecticut's to new time smokers. It's an acquired taste, even more than full-bodied cigars, I'd say. Just remember that full body doesn't mean it's something for a veteran who smoked for 20 years and only smokes like the blackest cigars. That's another misconception, that a black cigar, the darker it is, the stronger it's going to be. There's the nicotine strength, which affects everybody differently, and then there's the flavor intensity. So don't be afraid of a cigar just because it says full body. Like this is advertises the full. And yeah, I've been smoking a while, but still, I mean, there are some cigars out there that they'll hit me hard, and but so far I'd say this is closer to medium full. It probably mellowed out a bit because I had it in my box for so long, but a cigar is not going to lose all its intensity if you have it if you're aging it. And as usual, if I'm not, so I don't repeat myself again and again, unless something changes, I'm just going to add filler, whatever it is that comes up. So far, very pleasant. Again, I'm barely getting that pepper, which I like because I don't like pepper. Ton of leather, very strong, getting that earth. Kind of like a wet earthiness. And the real strong leather taste. Getting some cream. Some like unsweetened cream. It's more of a texture. It's kind of like it leaves something on your palate. Some nice creaminess. The aroma, the second hand is delicious. It's really woody. Really nice, distinct smell. So far, so good. I'm enjoying it. The aftertaste is like it's you get it and it's gone. Doesn't linger very long. Which is good. See, the camera doesn't do it justice. It's hard to focus on it. It's really dark out here and I don't have good lighting. But the band is really nice. They did a good job. It's embossed. It has a rearing lion. It's real nice. It's a nice mustard brown color. So it's basically a Nicaraguan puro. The only thing keeping it from being a full puro is the Pennsylvania broadleaf. Other than that, it's all Nicaraguan. It's opening up. It's getting really good now. Still getting that leather, getting that earth. And if once you build up a bit, you can start not retrohaling. That's but as the smoke is leaving, try to tiny bits. Just do it nice and slow, build up. And just get breathe some from your nose, Take a little bit back in, and you get a whole different experience. Some people retrohale, they take it out through their nose. But you get the whole experience, if you smell some of it as it comes out. It's real nice. Good draw, very medium. I don't want to say closer to the tight side because it's not really tight. It's just the smoke itself isn't super thick. The ash is stark white. I don't know if you guys could tell. Pretty stark white. You're not getting you get a decent amount of smoke. The draw is pretty medium. It's not tight. It's not loose. And it gives a bit, you know. And it's not super thick. It's close. It's on the thicker side, but it's not super thick, voluminous smoke. But it does have a texture, if that makes sense. It's not just air. It has like a creaminess without being sweet. So far, so good. So I'll give it around 15. So it's, as you can see, it's quite a big cigar, 6.5. So far, I'd say if it stays like this, if it stays consistent, it's pretty good. I like it. Again, I'm not gonna give it numbers because I don't think that's fair to anybody. Numbers, and I disagree with the numbers, but. But all right, well, I'll come back and do a second one when I get so it's not just repeating myself. And closer to the end of the second third, beginning of the last third, I'll pick it back up from there.